A lot of brands are really good at creating something incredible in the moment and really bad at building connection that lasts. So this conversation isn't just about conference booths or big brand campaigns. It's about something deeper. It's about creating a moment, creating meaning through an experience that builds connection. Welcome to Badass Softy, a podcast for leaders who are unapologetically ambitious and want to lead with heart because you're allowed to chase big goals without losing what makes you human. I'm your host, Dr. JJ Peterson, and on today's podcast, we are going to be talking about what it really takes to create an experience people remember and actually come back to. Like if you're putting on a conference or a meeting or a retreat or showing up at a huge event, because I'm so excited about my guest today, Matt Ford. He is the creator of the agency called Collab and has spent nearly 2 decades designing experiential marketing for brands like ESPN, Adidas, NBC, Hulu, Harley Davidson. And he's created the kind of moments that win awards and draw crowds. But he really then started thinking and asking questions around what happens after people leave, after they have that experience. How do you stay connected with them? So if you've ever wondered about how to create an experience for your customers or your team that actually lasts beyond the moment, this episode is for you. I'm so excited for you to hear my conversation today with Matt Ford. Matt, I am so excited to have you here. And I wanted to have you on because there's a couple different things. I first encountered you and you didn't know me. I didn't know you, but I used to go to Comic-Con every year. Oh, yeah. And every year that I went to Comic-Con, there were moments of displays and experiences that I had that I have pictures from, that I have memories from, that I will never forget. And I met you years later and found out you created those. Well, your team and everybody, yeah. Your team, your company created those. And then but what was even more amazing is that before I even knew that, I knew you as a human being, and you married one of my good friends, and we all fell in love with you because of your kindness, the way that you invited people in to be a part of your life, and you were just an incredible human being. And so first I knew you as a human, and then I knew you as this genius who changes the world when it comes to experiential marketing. And so you truly are a badass softy, which is why I wanted to have you on this podcast. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. And I'm fine to be referred to as Allie's husband. No problem.
Yeah, I'm Allie's friend, so I'm totally fine with that too. And Allie is coming on the podcast soon. So the reason I brought you on specifically today, because we could talk about a million things, but really is to talk about what you call experiential marketing.
Yes.
Describe for me what is experiential marketing.
Brands have moved away from traditional advertising. So they still do out of home and big billboards and things like that. But really what they want to do is create experiences for their consumers. That's where we come in. They would call us as an agency and say, hey, can you come up with some ideas for us of how to engage our consumers? And usually they do them at cultural events like Coachella, Comic-Con, South by Southwest is huge. Outside of sporting events, or the Super Bowl is another massive one. So that's usually where we come alongside a brand and help them actually create those experiences.
Like brands like, say, the Cartoon Network. They want to promote their new line of shows at Comic-Con. So you create a whole world outside of Comic-Con, or a field outside of Comic-Con that people can walk through and experience these shows.
Correct. I mean, most big brands are spending money in experiential now because people want to move away from screens. They want to be in real life. They want to be together. They want to have community. And it's a real valuable way to build brand affinity.
Yeah. And I think it not just for these huge brands, because that, obviously we all have been to those kind of things, like big conferences where we walk through, the convention floor and go to these amazing booths and get that cool experience. But I also think that it's for people who have small businesses. Like if I am doing a mastermind where people are showing up to experience my coaching and community like they would at a conference, I want them to have this experience that sticks with them after they leave. That's more than just like, hey, welcome, sit down at your table and then go away, because for multiple reasons. One, I want to care for them. Like, it's me wanting to care for them. But two, I want to help them stay connected beyond that moment. I want to be different in the market. And when people just show up to a conference or an office or a mastermind, and they're not experiencing, or a classroom, right? Then they're not experiencing something beyond this. They come in, they experience it, they walk away, the experience is over, and sometimes the relationship is too.
The experience has to be not only memorable, but they need to also feel that they were seen, taken care of, heard, in order for that to translate and to linger and to go, oh yeah, I remember that. It was almost like creating a core memory for these people.
Yes, yeah.
And allowing them to go, man, I want to come back. That was incredible.
I mean, that's Comic-Con, the panels are great, like,
Sure.
being able to see the movies, but the funnest time we had, the core memories that I have are going through like a gauntlet of like, AMC is promoting Walking Dead, and you get to walk through fences where people are reaching out and trying to grab you, and they're all in zombie outfits, everything. And you've been a part of even like AMC's.
We did a couple of Walking Dead experiences. Well, yeah, we did a bunch of them actually.
So
and,
let me just to kind of give people a bigger picture. What are some of the fun ones that you remember? What are some big things that you did?
Well, my favorites. My favorite was Cartoon Network at Atlantis and HGTV Lodge. So Cartoon Network at Atlantis, we took over all of Atlantis in the Bahamas for the entire summer. We kicked it off with a concert. We had an inflatable obstacle course on the water in their lagoon. We had movie nights. We had kids programming all throughout the day, parades. It was just a blast. And, that's the kind of stuff, those are the type of experiences to me that are super impactful, because then it happened 5 years in a row. People started to plan their summers around, we want to go back. This was so much fun. HGTV Lodge, we built, it's fine for me to say this now, but it was $2 million to build a lodge, but it was a beautiful cedar structure, and it was modular, so it would go up in about 24 hours. And we took it all over the country. I mean, it went to the Super Bowl, CMA Fest, and it became this kind of staple for HGTV, and we had every single A-list country artist that you could think of playing inside that space, and we had all the HGTV talent, and it became this kind of recurring thing where people are like, oh man, I got to get back to the HGTV Lodge. Those are the things that really stick out to me.
And you've also worked with like conferences, right? Like not just brands themselves, but people who are putting on events, concerts, even Coachella stuff. So what are some things even like with those, with conferences or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, we did, we produced a conference for a tech company called Tricentis recently. And it was, a 3-day immersive type of experience for not only their clients, but also their staff. So we did a fun pop-up experience for Adidas. It was during the World Series, and we had a vending machine in Boston and a vending machine in LA, and it was triggered by tweets. So whenever a certain athlete did something phenomenal that was an Adidas-sponsored athlete, you could send a tweet and it would unlock something on the vending machine. And so there was like this competition happening between Boston and LA, and the lines were literally around the block all night long just to get this free swag. And Adidas went all out and had like I think it was a pair of cleats that were like 1 out of 20 that were made. So people were losing their mind.
Yeah, to do this. Why? I mean, okay, so obviously some of these ones you're talking about, like huge, right?
Yep.
Like $2 million to build a home. And we'll talk a little bit about how it doesn't quite have to be that way all the time. But why is it so important for brands? Like, why are they willing to spend $2 million on a home that then is moved around the country, that, that's like a really cool experience,
Sure.
right? Obviously, like everybody looking at that would be like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
But what is the value for creating these kind of experiences and connections? And what happens when you don't do this?
Well, I think for most people, if they're honest, take away the brand thing. If it's just, You and your family, what do you like to do? You like to create experiences. You like to go places. You like to travel. Those are the things that you remember, not the stuff that you buy. And so I think brands have caught on to this and thought, well, why would we not create a world for our fans and our consumers to live within, even if it's for 4 days? And what that does is it creates these core memories. It creates these experiences that people will always talk about, will always remember, and they'll associate it with that brand. And so you have now created this connection with your fan and your consumer that is far greater than any product could ever provide.
Yeah.
Or any out-of-home, billboard. You look at a billboard, that's great. Okay, you remember something, but did you experience something? Did you feel something? That's what they're trying to create. And it works.
And it does, because even when I have, I just mentioned AMC Walking Dead, I still tell people about that experience.
Yeah.
Or, it's same thing with like theme parks. It's why Disney is different than other companies, right? Disney is a place where you go and you're surrounded in it. It's an experience. I don't even have to ride all the rides there. I can just walk down Main Street and there is a nostalgia, and I want to spend money because they're piping, smells through the air as I'm walking down the street, all these things.
Everything.
And I am more connected with Disney. I've been to both Disney and I've been to Universal. Universal to me has been historically, it's changing now, I think, but historically Universal was about the product, the experience of the rides. Disney was about the immersion and about the experience. And I was more of a Disney fanatic, and I was more connected with Disney. And so I think that those kind of things, and one of the things I've heard you talk about is a lot of people build products so that people show up, right? They buy and they attend and they are there. But when you build experience, it's to stay connected. It's so that they stay. So you build the product or the location or something so people will come, but you build the experience so that they stay.
Yeah. And I have been a bit of a critic of our industry for the last little while. I think something that Experiential does really well is beautiful, big design and creating these experiences that you're like, holy cow, look at that. It's incredible. But I think what ends up happening is if we're not careful as an industry, people show up for 4 days and then everything that you just went through goes in the trash, never gets used again. And most of the time, it's like a Super Bowl commercial. You laugh, you're entertained for 30 seconds and a $6 million spend, and then you forget about the product completely. And I'm really trying to say to our industry, why are we not stepping up to the plate here? Like, let's just say hypothetically, you've got $2.5 million to spend. I know that's a big number, but let's say you've got $2.5 million to spend, which is not crazy in our world. You take $2 million and you put it into the experience, and you say, well, let's take $500,000 of that and let's invest in the community through local. Like, let's just say, for example, you have a running company, or Nike would be a great example. And I think Nike's actually doing some of this. Instead of spending $2.5 million on an experience, spend $2 million in the experience and take $500,000 and invest it in local run clubs in that community. Every single time they show up, and you start building community locally around these people. And Nike's now showing up at these small little run clubs, and they're going, oh man, Nike cares about us, right? And so I'm saying, why not? Let's just keep the conversation going, because what ends up happening in our industry is you spend $2 million on that event, and then you start over from zero again next year. Stop starting over from zero. Let's continue the conversation so that you're building momentum. And to me, that's a great way to continue. And that translates in a million different ways into business. How do you engage? How are you engaging folks regularly, keeping them engaged in the conversation? How can you do that without spending all of your money on one thing, instead of finding ways to strategically allocate those dollars to keep them coming back?
Yeah. And I think that it's going to be so important moving forward because, obviously in an AI world, in a disconnected world, the brands and leaders who can actually lean into experiential moments and connection, human connection, real connection, building memories and relationship with their customers, those are the people who are going to win.
Yeah.
If you ignore that, they're going to buy your product and you may have this incredible product, but you're going to have to work twice as hard the next time to get them to come back.
Yeah.
So for people listening, you know, some people on here may have 2 million that they can spend, but for a lot of people, they don't. But they're doing like, oh, I'm going to do. I'm a leader who's going to do a retreat with my team, or I'm a leader who's doing a mastermind where people are going to show up, or I'm putting on a workshop or a conference, or just any of those spaces where people are showing up as an experience in general. What are some, I guess I would ask, what is the lens that you put on to start thinking about, okay, what are things I need to think about as I'm preparing for an experience for people?
Yeah. You have to create value for the people who are coming. So most of the time unless it's a pure marketing play and everything is free for people, that's a different conversation. But if you're actually charging and you're wanting to create it's a ticket price, there's got to be value for that ticket price. And so to me, I'm thinking about, realistically, most people don't wake up excited about a brand. They wake up excited about their kids, their family, running, their extracurriculars. Find a way to host that conversation within your experience. So obviously you can't not everything can have a run club, but maybe you do have a run club. Maybe that's part of the programming, right? Or maybe there's a way for you to engage with your kids in a certain way. Like if you are hosting a conference and there's no childcare, maybe that's something you think about. Like it's just those little tiny, that's a ton of perceived value for people. Oh wait, I get to come to a conference and I can have my kids dropped off and watch the whole time. I literally just made that up on the spot. I don't know where that came from, but if you can find ways to bring value for that ticket price, it's a huge battle.
Huge. Yeah. And I find this in a lot of spaces. Like if I'm going out to dinner, I can get a ton of value, quote unquote, from Sonic, like depending on what I'm like, it's about, sure, I'm spending $10 there, but I'm looking at it and going, did I get value for $10? Mm-hmm. I can also go to $100 steakhouse or higher and I can go, am I getting value at $100? And my experience can be better at Sonic because I perceive the value to be higher through the experience than $100 at a steakhouse. Yeah. And so even that, like I'm trying to go, it's not about the money. It's about in what you're providing, do people feel like what they paid, it's worth it? Sure. And that can be because they just got a kind welcome at the door, like that. Yeah. And so it doesn't have to be that you have these huge displays when they walk in, but like, what does it look like when they come in? How do they feel? Does it feel like, oh, I got value out of this? I think that's so important. So it can be a $10 thing or it can be a $2 million thing, and people are going to be going, did I get value from this? I think that's so key. What else do you think about when you're preparing for these kind of experiences?
A lot of the stuff we try to be as immersive as possible. So every little detail, we were talking earlier, like you've been to a conference where you walk in and there's a table with a black tablecloth and someone who's very grumpy with 1,000 name tags looking for your name. And imagine that versus you walk in, there's people who are welcoming you, greeting you. There's beautiful signage that's clear, telling you where to go, how to check in. There's maybe even some media playing to kind of welcome you, music, the whole thing, even the scent. You talk about Disney, like just thinking through all those little things when you walk in, what are people going to experience when they experience your brand for the very first time?
Yeah.
It's so important.
When we did workshops in Nashville with Story Brand, we realized a lot of people were coming. They'd never been to Nashville before. Yeah. And what do you think about when you think about Nashville is country music. Sure. And so when people would come into just register for the morning workshop, we had a bluegrass band that would be playing. And it was just like, and people would comment about that years later. They'd say, oh, I came to the Story Band. You guys had a bluegrass band, and it was just like, and that may be the only country music they experience while they're there, but we gave it to them in that moment. Recently, one of the things that we did was we know that when people go home that they want to, this is part of the value piece as well. They want to bring a gift to their kids when they may not have time. Well, we got these little bears that says, I love Nashville. So they didn't have to go to a store to get it. So they could do everything kind of immersive in the space, but also add value to it. And I think when you do that, it creates, like you said, it's that core memory and that connection.
Yes.
It's deeper than just like being cool.
Yeah.
You know, anybody can be cool. But when people feel like you've been thoughtful and you've thought about them and created something, that experience, I mean, yeah, like I said, I still have memories of all the things at Comic-Con because it was the booths that I loved. You know, yes, I got to see, you know, when they announced the Avengers cast, I was there for that.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was.
You got a seat, huh?
Yeah, I did. It was, we spent
Hall
the night.
H?
Yeah, Hall H. We spent the night overnight in the line to go see it.
That's impressive.
I know. So yeah, I'm a big deal, but, but it was, so there was that piece of it, which that's a core memory, but they also, the way they did that, like they, you know, Robert Downey Jr. comes down the aisle and went right by me. He high-fived me with, you know, with a light on his hand. And then, and then they pulled back the curtains in the whole room. Like they put movie across the whole,
so cool.
I mean, it was wild. That's a huge memory, a core memory. I was bawling my eyes out, you know, like you do. Core memory. Yep. But it was so immersive and so cool. I was there when they promoted The Hobbit, and same thing. They turned down the lights, and all of a sudden you heard the dwarfs start singing. So and again, I just like started weeping. And those moments are core memories, and I am forever connected to those movies, to that, to even Comic-Con itself, because of those immersive experiences. Is there anything else, again, just for people as they're thinking through like creating events, what else do you bring to the table, or just thinking through?
Yeah, I mean, hospitality.
Yeah.
You know, I think we've both been there, Canlis in Seattle. Yeah. I mean, every single second of that thing is like this perfectly choreographed experience. And it's just, I don't remember what I ate at Canlis. I remember it was good, but I'm like, I love that place. And I've been twice. Yeah. And I'm like, I can't wait to go back again. You know, it's like, and they're just thinking through every little detail. And the same with, and I, you know, going back to hospitality, like Gramercy Tavern in New York. It's a Danny Meyer restaurant, which it's like an international destination, but it feels like your corner bar. And it's just like, that's intentional. And so it's like thinking through, how are you taking care of your people? What's the story you want to tell? Who are you representing as a brand and as a company? And how are you communicating that to the people who are your fans or your consumers, whatever that may be?
Yeah. And all of those things in reality, like, yes, you can spend $2 million on, but also you don't have to, you know, like for everybody, in the sense of, if you're Adidas or Nike, you are going to do that and, you know, do those like big things. But for everybody to be able to say, all right, when somebody shows up, am I providing value when they walk through that door? Also, am I making it immersive? Is it not just about a table and a cloth, but actually about the full experience of them being there? And then ultimately, do they feel seen and thought of? And the little details that just, you know, Will Guidara talks about it, that unreasonable hospitality, that surprise and delight. Because yes, Canlis, the restaurant in Seattle, I've been to twice as well. And the last time I went for my 50th birthday, I brought 2 of my childhood friends and their spouses and Jamie with me. Yeah. And it was probably the most expensive meal I've ever bought. Sure. And I would argue, I feel like I'm probably got the most value out of it. And it wasn't just the food. It was the experience and how we were treated and what they did for us that was just thoughtful. It wasn't even huge, but they knew us. They actually knew me before I came in the room, and they did things special for us that was just, it blew my mind. Yeah. And I think everybody can take away those small things. And then the biggest thing I think out of all of it, like you said, is finding a way that stays connected beyond it. Yeah. I think if you just do this huge blowout, sure, it's great, it's going to be impressive, but is it going to be connected? Yeah. And finding ways to stay connected with people beyond that, I think, is so important. So Matt, I love this. I'm a big fan of you, and I'm a big fan of what you do for people. And, you know, you've made me a fan of many of your clients because of it, you know, who knew that I love Cartoon Network until I went to Comic-Con, but it was just, I still have trinkets and swag from that day. I love it. So if anybody is interested, that does have kind of these big dreams for a conference or an event or an experience, a brand that they want to take around, different things, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
Sure. My company is called Collab with 2 L's, Experiential. So collabexperiential.com. We consult, we produce, we design, we do all of it.
So reach out to Matt. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for helping brands really connect with their customers in whole new ways. And thank you for being a badass softie.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much for coming on and having that conversation. I mean, I remember going to Comic-Con multiple years and having these unbelievable experiences, where I was, like I said, I'd go outside of the Comic-Con convention and you would go through this obstacle course that had to do with the Cartoon Network shows, and you would get a sword, or you would get a shield, or you would get a hat. And I still have pictures, and all of my friends who went with me to that, we all still have those things because they created a core memory, and it was so fun. And as I was listening to Matt talk today, he had some incredible, just really practical examples about how to help people, how to offer value and be immersive and all of those things. But I guess the thing that I'm really walking away from with all of this is the idea that I want to dream a little bit bigger than I have when it comes to providing experiences for my clients and my customers. I think a lot of times we're afraid to take these big swings because we're like, well, maybe that won't go off the way we want. We'll spend a lot of money and time and energy. And the reality is those moments where I have had those kind of wild, immersive, big experiences where I felt seen and taken care of and value showed up, those are the moments I remember. Those are the events I want to go back to again and again. Those are the retreats I want to be a part of, the masterminds I want to be a part of. And I think it was because in those moments, the leaders and the people who were putting them on were audacious enough to swing big. I want to swing a little bit more bigger. Is that the right way to say it? I don't know. I want to swing bigger. That's really what it comes down to when it comes to how I serve people, how they show up to my events, and how even they show up at my house. I really want to swing a bit bigger. And I want to challenge you to think a little bit bigger yourself. What are some areas of your life and your business and your teams that you can think a little bit more about being immersive with the experience, offering more value, creating a space for hospitality where people feel seen, heard, and understood? Because I think when we do that, not only do our customers and our team and our clients win in those situations, but we as leaders and as brands win as well. So to close things out, let me leave you with this. May you, in all the things that you do, offer real value, the kind that meets people where they are and leaves them better than they found you. May you create experiences that pull people in, where they don't just observe, but feel something worth remembering. May you practice the kind of hospitality that makes people feel seen, welcomed, and like they belong in the story you're telling. And may you be brave enough to go big, not just to impress, but to build connection and memories that will last a lifetime. Because we believe you can be both ambitious and kind, fun and driven, powerful and deeply human. Your leadership can inspire, your success can have soul, and your ambition can make space for everyone. That's why you're a badass softie. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Follow and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. BadassSoftie.com is crafted by Fruitful Design and Strategy.